What is your dirty little secret?
There is an old bathroom in the warehouse where nobody but me and my boss, who doesn't go there, has access to. It is hidden behind a wall of boxes, 4 other doors and with no electricity, but the plumbing works. I have my personal toilet in there, and I regularly steal toilet paper from our shared bathroom and take it in there. Our bathroom we share upstairs is bitty af. That one down there is a paradise. But there is no way in hell I am ever telling anyone. Reminds me of that one episode of B99. Or that one of How I Met Your Mother. Or the roof toilet on Scrubs. I sharted on my best friend's wedding, spent 40 minutes in the toilet and threw away my underwear in the middle of a field. Semi-related to this, at a wedding I was once at, I had a really bad stomachache. The kind that you know needs a follow-up visit to the toilet pretty soon. But I couldn't get away to do that all day as I was a groomsman and had minor things to do. Later in the evening, I'm at almost maximum capacity and need to release some excess gas. A huge crowd had gathered around a table playing beer pong, and I dropped the biggest smelliest fart of all time at the table. Within seconds people picked up on it, yet I tried to play it cool. As people's heads turned in my direction to see who it was that had dealt it, there was another person present right next to me. It was the head bridesmaid and she was very drunk. So drunk she couldn't even process the smell of what had just been dropped right next to her, despite everybody else in the near vicinity clocking it. I put on a mild show, and blamed her. To my surprise, everybody just went with it, and even though she protested, she was so drunk her words would not form a regular sentence, and people sent her off to bed to expel the demon from her body. I dropped a clanger of a fart and blamed it, successfully, on the head bridesmaid. What the duck did I read? I puked in my friend's staircase after too many shots. Luckily she didn't notice when we left her place the next morning and only saw it when we got back. Her and her flatmate discussed who could have done it and whether it could have been the neighbor's dog, but in the end thought it was too much puke for a dog, despite me saying it could totally have been the dog. In the end they figured it must have been one of the downstairs neighbors who apparently are known for coming home super drunk. Dog puke is nothing like human puke. Really bad scapegoat. Source: have had to clean up dog puke multiple times. I knew I was going to see this cute guy at dinner, so I picked out a very sexy V-neck bodysuit. Of course, there was absolutely no way to wear a bra with it. I took my chances, but during dessert, I had a major nip slip. It just popped out. I had no clue what had happened until he finally awkwardly pointed it out. I'd been sitting there, eating sorbet with my boob out. Double the dessert for him, I guess. Okay, so one time I was walking around on TGE Beach a few years ago and I wanted some snacks, but I left my wallet in my house, so me hungry young and dumb thought acting homeless was the best idea to get some cash. Well, 20 minutes into me sitting on a curb, some weird guy walks up to me and says, "Hey, you're kinda cute for a homeless guy, I'll give you some money if you do something for me." At that point I wanted to leave, but my dumbass stayed and followed him to a dark alleyway. Then he turns to me and says, "How much to watch you bit?" And I stood there for a few minutes just taken back. I said $500 joking and he pulled out a stack of cash. So I hate to say this, but I got paid for bitting in a alley, but the food was worth it. 10/10 would be homeless again. How did you bit on command? $500 is $500. Wife and I are currently separating, and I've been wary because she's spent a lot of time with a guy she knows, including staying over a lot. She has been claiming that nothing is or will happen, that it's the last thing on her mind right now, etc. She came home last Thursday morning with a shopping bag, where she'd picked up some juice for our children on the way home and put some of her own stuff in it too. I thought I'd help out when she went to work by emptying said bag, only to pull out a suspender belt with stockings attached. So my secret is that I didn't tell her that I found that last week. Something is definitely happening, either with that dude or another. I went through that in 2010. Found vibrating condoms in my now ex's purse. Divorced. Married an awesome woman in 2014. Unload the cheater and start a better life. 2020 you will thank 2019 you. I masturbated with the sauna ladle handle around the age when everything was a dildo. Nobody knows. They have all touched it. I absolutely refuse to eat a cucumber that has been stored in a home with a teen girl. The dead mice skeletons in a coffee cup in my room from like 10 years ago. I had a pet snake at the time, and my parents and I were going somewhere for like 2 days. I was supposed to feed the snake the next day, and I wasn't sure if I should feed it before we left or after we got back. A day too early or a day late. I asked my father and he said to feed her now. So as I start defrosting the mice in a cup of warm water, my mother comes down and says to feed her when we get back. We're leaving in a few minutes. I, being a confused child, panic because I had it in my head that I couldn't refreeze the mice as they would be bad, but I didn't want them to go to waste. I ended up shoving them in a corner on my dresser and covering the cup with some random stuff. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I think it would be the shame of being seen if I tried to put them back or throw them out that made me do it. At first I didn't clean it up because I thought it would be smell super bad if I moved the stuff, and I was terrified of being seen. After a while I kind of forgot about it since the stuff it's under is never really moved, and now I don't even sleep in that room anymore. It's used for storage. No one knows my strange childhood shame, and it's just never on the top of my to-do list as an adult. My ex told me to drug her and do with her what I wanted, so I drugged her and played video games all night with friends. She still thinks I ducked her multiple times that night. Not my thing, but she wouldn't stop pestering me about it. Holy duck the comments. We were playing EverQuest. E2. Silver. Thanks. What do I do with it? That's kind of a clean little secret. Picked up a box off the street, the size of a matchbox. Had some heft to it. Pocketed it and walked home. Turns out there were bullets in it and owning said bullets is illegal in my country, so now I'm trying to figure out a way of disposing of them without getting caught or ending up injuring some poor dump truck worker. See if the cops are issuing any amnesties where people can drop in with bullets and weapons for destruction. No questions asked. My country has one like once every 5 years. I lied through my teeth when I said I wasn't depressed anymore to stop my family from worrying. I know the suffering. After that initial lie, the lies about your feelings become easier. I don't even sweat lying anymore about how I feel. If you get the smile just right and know how to keep your tone nice and firm, anyone will believe anything out of your mouth. Reason I did it was cause my mom and dad blamed themselves for my depression when it wasn't them who caused it. I genuinely don't masturbate for the orgasm anymore. That tiny dopamine surge keeps me from doing coke though. Long time ago when I was like 10-11, a cousin of mine that had 13 plus years showed me his willy and touched me improperly and also asked me weird questions. I think the only thing that stopped him from raping me was that there was a store nearby and we were in his backyard, so if I screamed someone would definitely come. He never threatened me, but I felt really weird, so I never told anyone about it. I almost died when I was 7 and my parents don't know. I was with my brother's wife, then GF, out on the town doing some errands. I run ahead cause I am a kid and she yells for me to stop. When I hear her I realize I am on the tram rail crossing and a tram was coming. I ran back to her scared bitless. We agreed not to tell anyone since we'd both be neck deep in trouble. Oh god. So one night on the way back from work I was really feeling it, and I thought why don't I just jerk off in my car on the side of the road. Now it was pouring down rain that night and I live in the middle of nowhere, so I pulled over and did my thing and whatever. I went to pull off the grass I was in, and oh duck, I'm stuck in mud in my 0-2 feet Honda Accord, so I'm pushing with all my ducking will. BTW, I'm on someone's property and they can definitely see a car with headlights on from their house, so I think I'm gonna get caught stuck. Thankfully with the will of God I got out, but man I feared for my life. I tuck my girlfriend in each night and nuzzle her a lot. It helps her fall asleep and she appreciates it immensely. I also do it so she'll fall asleep, and I can go crank it to so much porn. Edit. Tuck, not tug. This is sorta dark, but I worked in a call center where we routinely talked to people who had recently lost someone. We had a script of sorts and were required to offer our condolences. I offered this older man my condolences and he said, well, I'm sad. Sure, but now that she's gone I can watch all that nasty stuff. I would leave my current life behind in moments if I had the opportunity to move to Sweden permanently. I've regretted a few past choices, so if this came up, I'd sacrifice my marriage and everything else to go.